What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's video. Now, there was a lot of things I could have done for this video. You know, we've been working this whole month, but what? I can't do this! What is going on, my peeps? Welcome back to the grand finale of Pumpkin Spice Month. And this one is kind of just going full circle. It's so poetic because I'm taking what you've suggested most over anything else for the longest time, the raindrop cake, and combining it with a million comments I got earlier this year when 13 Reasons Why came out. And just to give you all a little bit of a sense as to how long I've been planning this whole thing, well, number one, obviously since the show came out, I've been planning the costume. And number two, I don't know if you remember, but about a month and a half ago, I put this little clip in there to kind of send you some signals that I'm eventually gonna do it. We are gonna start with the plain version of the raindrop cake first, just to get a grasp on how everything's gonna work here. And then we'll get into the pumpkin spice one. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So ironically, the recipe that has been requested most over everything else of all time, the raindrop cake, includes the least amount of ingredients. You're gonna need some sugar, some water, and some agar. Probably saying that wrong, so feel free to roast me in the comments. But let's get right into it. Of course, I also had to use this kitchen scale to measure out everything, cause ain't nobody know what cc or grams are in cups and tablespoons, so I took the time to measure out the water, the sugar, and the agar. And from here on out, it's pretty easy. You first throw in your water and your sugar, you mix those together and let the sugar dissolve, then you could flip on your heat, add in your agar powder, and lightly mix that whole thing together, swirling the pan a bit, basically to try to prevent any bubbles from getting in this liquid. Now once I thought I left it on the heat for long enough and everything dissolved, I poured it in the ice cube spherical molds, popped the lid on both of those, and then let them set in the fridge for about 45 minutes. After that time had elapsed, I took the first one out and tried to remove it from the molds. No shocker here, it didn't work. It wasn't fully set, it just crumbled to pieces, so I actually left this other one in the freezer for about 10 minutes. And after that, I tried to pop it out, and it held its shape, but it is definitely very cloudy and not very raindroppy, aka 15 of Corinne's attempts when she tried this dumb video. So with the couple things I learned from this first attempt, as well as watching 1,000,001 videos on YouTube, I'm gonna dive right into the deep end and try the pumpkin spice version. Now to begin, we're gonna start pretty much the same with the water and sugar in your pot, except this time I'm adding in a few drops of yellow food coloring and then 1 drop of red to get a nice orange. Once again, I flipped on the heat and then added in my agar powder and a little bit of this pumpkin spice extract from the gum video. I carefully whisked the whole thing to try to incorporate everything, and clearly I think I left this over the heat for too long because some of that powder began to burn or cook on the bottom. To compensate for that, I figured I would strain it over my measuring cup again to get out any more impurities or bubbles. And this time I poured a little bit less liquid in the molds because I figured once it sets I'll have one concave side so it could rest flat on that side and kind of give it more likelihood that it'll be that flat looking water drop. Now this time I gave these a solid like 2 hours in the fridge, I think, just to make sure the entire thing was set through, and I got high hopes. So out came the first one, broke my hopes and dreams instantly. Now the second one here, I kind of flipped over to get out any excess liquid first, try to remove it from the mold a little bit slower. And behold, we have an intact, kind of transparent raindrop cake. And y'all already know I'm gonna dress this thing up with some whipped cream, and it ain't a pumpkin spice video without some pumpkin pie spice. I am very pleased with how this looks, so let's give it a taste. Look how perfect that is, except the nasty like juice underneath it. Here we go. Oh snap, boys. I'm excited. We're gonna get a little bit of whipped cream in there, cause why not? It goes with jello. To over a year of you guys begging me to do a raindrop cake, and to Clay Jensen. My first initial like instinct was to spit it out because it was such a weird texture, but it is not bad. It's not overpowering with the extract that I added. It's just a weird texture to get used to, but the whipped cream makes it great. I can hop on board with this thing. Any of you chain restaurants out there looking for a good seasonal idea, this is the one. The grand finale of our pumpkin spice month has ended in a fantastic success. 10 out of 10, it's only right. I hope you guys enjoyed the last pumpkin spice video for this month. If you did, leave me a like. Let's try to hit 6,000 again. Guys, I have to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I did not think, number one, I'd be able to get through this whole month keeping up with 2 videos a week. And number 2, that you guys would watch them and support them as much as you have. It was a lot of fun for me to do. It was a lot of work, but I would do it again in a heartbeat. Not next month, I need a break. So thank you all for sticking with me. I'm gonna have some cool, exciting updates for the next couple weeks. Nothing to this magnitude, but it should still be a lot of fun around here. But other than that, have an awesome beginning of your week, and I will see you right back here on Friday for another BuzzFeed test. Clay Jensen signing out. Peace.